The Charmaine Road here in our continued series of FIE's Junkanoo Rush Unsung Heroes. Folks, I am here with one of my mentors, the man who taught me many things on bay and off bay. I consider him too to be one of my fathers in Junkanoo. Give us your name, sir.
Thanks, Charmaine. I appreciate the compliments. Leslie Johnson.
Les Johnson, is there AKA?
That's it.
Les, that's it, folks. You know, I came across Les in 1991 in the Roots organization. So I'm going to let him give a little history about himself, and we're going to just shoot the breeze and fill you in on this dynamic man that you see that I'm interviewing right now. Let's tell us your beginning in Junkanoo and how you ended up being the leader in Roots, and let's start from there.
Well, I actually started Junkanoo with a junior group called the Happy Youths.
Oh, you were one of the Happy Youths too.
Yeah, led by Jack Sanders.
Jack Sanders. I interviewed a guy today from Roots, and he talked about the Happy Youths. A few people actually talked about it.
Yeah, so that was way back in the 70s, late 70s. And from there, I joined the Valley Boys with myself, Dribs Ramen, Kevin Dribs Ramen, Paul Knowles, Jim Brown. So I spent quite a bit of years in the Valley Boys. I went off to college, and then in '91 was one of the founding members of the Roots Junkanoo group. And so those are the groups basically that I have been a part of in my history in Junkanoo.
Now you say you ended up in Roots. Tell us about your history as being the leader of Roots, and also your history of being the second, I think, chairman of the JCNP, and how that came about.
Well, yeah. Well, as far as Roots is concerned, I, like I said, was a founding member of Roots, and actually served as part of the leadership myself, Quentin Barabbas Woodside, Gold Tanquist.
So Roots actually had a board
Paul
then?
Knowles. Well, we had like a 4-pronged leadership with responsibilities for different areas of the group. For instance,
and which was your area?
Barabbas was responsible for the music.
Okay.
Paul was responsible more for the fundraising and public relations, and myself and Peter was responsible for the costume design and building. And that's the way we function. And then eventually Barabbas went off and did his own thing. Paul got ill and was unable to continue, and I think Gold went to the Valley for a period, and I ended up by my lonesome.
But you sure told it.
Yeah,
you told it well also.
For quite a number of years.
Right.
And then during that period, the JCNP came about. It's the body responsible for the parades on Bay Street.
In New Providence.
In New Providence, yes. And so I ended up among some great people at that time: Willa Francis, Gus Cooper, Arthur Gibson, who was the first chairman. And so they thought that I was kind of a neutral person in the whole mix.
Okay.
And I think that was one of the reasons I ended up chairing the JCNP.
Okay, so tell us now, what is your status now in Junkanoo itself?
Well, I'm retired.
Okay, so you retired from Junkanoo.
I'm retired.
You ain't never retired. Don't give me that one.
Well,
I know you consulting or you doing something.
Well, I've been out of the mainstream of Junkanoo now for about 3 years.
Okay. That ain't much years.
I speak from time to time with members of various groups and give my advice. And possibly see myself now as somebody who might act in a different capacity, maybe advising the government on certain things that needs to be done for Junkanoo. And maybe one of these days I'll get back in the shop and help with the costume or two.
Now, Les, one thing we didn't talk about, you didn't throw no numbers at me. So you got to hit me with some figures. In terms of doing this thing, what we call Junkanoo, because you're a part of the history making that keeps this culture coming back on Bay Street. See, a lot of times persons don't get to see the people behind the scene that keeps it structured, that keeps it going, that keeps the momentum. So throw some years at me, that avenue.
Well, like I said, I started out in the late 70s.
Late 70s, so add that up there, okay.
I've been possibly well over 30-something years.
Right.
So I think I've did my civic duty.
Okay, so we're getting there now. We got a couple minutes more. Tell us the way forward. What do you see in the way forward for Junkanoo?
Well, I think Junkanoo needs to serve a greater purpose now in the community. I think when we talk about the young still in our midst, especially the young guys, and them going astray. And people always complain about, oh, these guys aren't interested in the the organizations that we used to have, like the Boys Brigade, like the Boys. Well, they're interested in Junkanoo.
Yeah.
By the thousands. There are thousands.
I think it's more about discipline, camaraderie, and family oriented too.
Yes, we need.
They feel like a part of a great big family.
So why not meet them where they are? Go to these shacks, enhance these shacks, put the necessary training and tools in there that will help them with other life skills. You see, I mean, for instance, if you take 5 of the major groups right now, there's about 1,000 plus horn blowers. Just think about that. Musicians, people who have learned music. And so these things could be used to further create jobs opportunities for some of these guys. They could these shacks could be used to teach trade and other different things. I think we're missing an opportunity when we're not trying to reach these people. We want them to go in things that our fathers and we were into. They're not interested in that. Let's meet them where they are. They're interested in Junkanoo. Let's use Junkanoo as a vehicle to better their lives.
Okay, folks, there you have it from one of my unsung heroes, my mentor, Mr. Leslie Johnson. Thank you so much, Les.
Thanks.